Assalamu alaikum to those who have joined. We're just going to give maybe 2 more minutes and inshallah, then we will get started.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Alaikum.
Happy to see everyone.
Okay, inshallah. So I think we can get started. So أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. So Assalamu alaikum, everyone. And on behalf of WISER, I'd like to welcome everybody, Weekend Islamic School Educational Resources, to this webinar. And my name is Asad Koshal, and I will be your moderator for today. So we have two very accomplished presenters, and inshallah, my job is to moderate and just to move things along, inshallah. And if anytime during the presentations, if you'd have any questions, please drop them in the chat. So our first presenter today is going to be Miss Tara Turk Zaafran. And as I mentioned, we have two very accomplished presenters. So I'm going to read their bio in a very condensed format. So Ms. Tara is a educator, administrator, a parent, a respected community leader, and she also served as vice principal of Ilm Academy in Houston, Texas. Her personal educational journey started with a bachelor's degree in microbiology and immunology, but then her passion was education. So she ended up pursuing two master's degrees, one in curriculum and instruction for secondary education, and a second from the University of Houston. And then she later pursued a second master's degree in Islamic studies for education from Bayan Islamic Graduate School. So with that background, Sister Tara has developed multiple curriculums in multiple environments. In addition to her education work, she's very active for Muslim American students and their families in helping them in a variety of capacities. She was also the secretary of Weekend Islamic School Educational Resources. And then in addition to all of that, she was also the first Muslim gubernatorial appointee to the State Board of Historical Records and Archives, and she's currently working towards an appointment to the Texas State Board of Education Certification. So this is a brief bio of Sister Tara Turk Zaafran. So I hand it over to you, Sister Tara. She will be addressing us for approximately 20 minutes.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you, Asad. I appreciate it. I'm very humbled by your introductions. I appreciate that. It's really not that as impressive. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. بفتح صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Thank you everybody for joining. I really appreciate your time this evening to come and learn more about this on the presentation today. We'll be talking about today about the importance of parent involvement in Islamic school and Jami, but mainly weekend schools. They go hand in hand. They're usually very intertwined. I know that a lot of us know that, that even I was in fault for this as well. It comes to Sunday school or Saturday school, you just drop your kids off. You don't really want to do anything. You just kind of leave them in Saturday school or weekend school, and then you leave and you come back and pick them up. But so what I'm going to present to you today or this evening is basically the statistical research on how parent involvement actually really impacts a student learning. And regardless of whether it's part-time school, whether it's homeschooling, whether it's weekend schools, or whether it's full-time schools. This has a huge impact on the students' learning and so forth. Because again, I mean, if your child sees that you're extremely involved and really want to see the success of them by being there, participating, and so forth, they tend to really they take it seriously. Because if you take their education seriously, the children will take their education seriously. So with that, where are the slides? I can't hear you.
Yes, Sister Samar, if you can share the slides.
Sure. I thought you would like to share it, but that's okay. I will share it.
Am I able to control it from?
Yes. No, if I share it, you won't be able to control it. Would you like to share it yourself?
Okay. Is it? So I just go ahead and share from the link. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's perfect. All right. Let me do that. Sorry, everybody. Give me 1 second.
No problem. No problem. Take your time. All right. Can everybody see? Yes.
Okay.
Yes, if
Okay,
it's
so
possible,
Yeah.
Sister Charlotte.
Just put it in present mode.
Presentation mode.
Yeah.
Yes.
The presentation
Okay.
mode.
There we go.
Perfect.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so we're here to talk today. I'm representing WISER this evening, building bridges, strengthening parent and school connections. And this is for the success of all of our students, inshallah. So today's program overview, I think Brother Assad kind of went through it. It's going to be the importance of a positive parent-school relationship. This is the data in supporting of parent involvement, create a supportive environment, how to do that, or what we're looking for in order to create that supportive environment, designing effective communication channels, what parents can do to help leveraging alumni and parent experience. This is also very important for the schools as well. Cultural sensitivity and inclusion, parent-teacher partnerships, parent education, getting feedback, family events, and then making memories. I'll be talking more from the data perspective, and then Sister Samar is going to basically talk about it from her personal experience in all of her years of effective education and weekend Islamic schools. So let's move on. So when we say that it takes a village to raise a child, I actually use this. I use this comment very, very often because it's not about a teacher and it's not about a parent. We all have to work together. Admin needs to work with the school needs to work with the teachers need to work with the parents need to work with both the admin and the teachers. All of these things come together to basically raise that child and to actually create a successful educational experience for them. Every child has the power to succeed in school and in life. Every parent, family member, and caregiver can help support their child or other children, both in the mainstream education and in Islamic education. A lot of these statistics were done on mainstream education, but it really goes hand in hand with any type of education that they're getting. Because the more you care, or the more the teachers care, and the more there's collaborative work together, the higher success rate of each of the students. So how can we help our children succeed? The answer comes from a combination of common sense and research about how children learn and about how to prepare them to learn. So encouraging parental involvement. Okay, it's wonderful to see parents actively engage in their children's education, their journey through Islamic Education Week in school. Now, as your child's first and most important teacher, it's important that you build and keep strong ties to your child's school. Right, this is the number one thing. So when we talk about this, we're not saying to just go and leave them and then not even ask them what they're doing, especially with things like foreign language and Islamic studies. These are things that your children are going to have to participate with you. You can actually play games and all these kind of things that you can do with your child at home. But again, if you're not taking weekend school seriously, they're not going to take it seriously. Now, the more involved the parents are in their child's education, the more likely the child is to succeed in school. Research shows that parent support is essential in student success. The strongest and most consistent predictors of parent involvement at school and at home are specific school programs and teacher practices that encourage parent involvement. So we don't want to put all this on the parent. The school has to be an inviting environment for the parents. At the same time, the teachers also need to engage with the parents as well. So it's a combination of all three, and to find that equilibrium between all three. All three are stakeholders in the child's education, obviously the parents, but the teachers as well. And the administration, there's teachers that need to feel supported by both the parents and the admin. The students will get the vibe from the teachers if the teachers are very involved with their education. And at the same time, the student will also get that vibe from the parents. This was stated by Susan Dauber. She's a director and researcher at Northwestern University, and Joyce Epstein, who's a researcher and professor at Johns Hopkins University. Most of my data is actually coming from these two researchers, but also I have a few research reports as well, and the educational report from Harvard Graduate School as well. Now, why should we have parent involvement? Children, this is statistically, children get higher grades and test scores, including foreign language and religious studies, when parents are more involved in their school. Children have better attitudes towards school, so you're going to see less disciplinary issues in the classroom when they're taking their education seriously. Children have fewer behavioral problems in school. So again, if they're going in knowing that it's just a weekend thing, they don't really have to try, it's not really taking seriously like your mainstream school, you're more than likely, especially if they're bored, going to have a lot more behavioral issues in the classroom, which will frustrate in turn the teachers. And the teachers, when they're frustrated, it basically goes down a landslide from there. Children complete multiple class assignments when there's more parent involvement. Children have less absenteeism and enjoy going to school overall. So these are all the benefits of having parental involvement. Now, when parents are involved, so this is so we're looking at why. This is when we have parents that are involved. Parents end up having better and more frequent communication with their teachers. Parents have a stronger parenting skills because then you're working with the teacher, you're working all that. So you're going to come home, you're going to sit with your child. The child's not going to act up as much. I mean, it gives them, and then the teachers give them feedback. The teachers should be there to give feedback for the students and to the parents and talk to them about, well, this is where you can help your child. This is where, I've seen struggling happen. You can try this, you can try these things. Same thing with the admin when they're talking to the parents as well. Parents will have a closer relationship with their child. If you're more involved, your child will come and tell you the things that are difficult for them, the things that they're having problems with. If they have an issue with peers in class or with their teacher, they'll be more comfortable to come and talk to you if they know that you're very involved in their education journey. Parents have a more positive attitude towards education and the school staff. The reason why this is important is because they'll show more appreciation to the teachers. Now, based on the Pew Research reports, Pew actually said 1/4 of all teachers, and this is actually probably going to be higher in weekend schools, a lot of teachers say that parents frequently express appreciation for their efforts. So only about 25% of parents actually, and teachers feel that about only 25% actually show appreciation for all the things that they do. We all know that teachers are not getting paid what they actually deserve. Now, in weekend schools, it's even a lot of them sometimes even in a lot of schools around the country. Appreciation for the parents that's going to end up reflecting in the teaching in the classroom. So the more appreciation that parents can show to the teachers, the more involved the teacher will be with their students or with the student. Now, when parents are involved, you also have the involvement that the parents have raises the school normal. Because again, if the parents and teachers are all working together, and I'm not talking just one-on-one, like helping your child with their homework or things like that. No, this is about being available at the school, like volunteer, like you can do different things like volunteer in the classroom, volunteer in with lunches or something like that, or during the break time. Stop at the school whenever you can. This takes the pressure off of the teachers. And when it takes the pressure off of the teachers, they'll end up, the morale builds up because then they don't feel like they're overwhelmed with a whole bunch of stuff. So that it, and so it moves over to increasing the overall morale of the school. Involvement creates a safer school environment. Again, if there's more adults around, more teachers around, more parents around, technically, your safety in the school is going to be easier. For example, sometimes parents can just go and provide some recess supervision. In our weekend school, we used to have like maybe a 15-20 minute recess during lunchtime. And a lot of the times our parents would kind of cover that so the teachers could take that 15-20 minute break. Involvement enhances curriculum and classroom activities. So if the teacher wants to do a special project, but again, you have a limited amount of time on weekend schools, if you have a parent come in, it's actually going to help them quite a bit so they can get some of those hands-on projects done. Again, we don't have as many figures like we do in public school and weekend schools. So you'll have one teacher with a whole bunch of students, and it's harder to do like these smaller little projects or group learning when there isn't an aid at the moment. And again, weekend schools are not as budgeted as your regular mainstream schools. So having that parent involvement in the classroom really does help. Involvement allows teachers and other staff to do their jobs more effectively. Again, happy teacher, happy students. The more supported that the teacher feels, the more she's going to give back to the child. And this is statistically shown throughout all the research databases, whether it's from Harvard, whether it's from the different U.S. Department of Education, or whether Pew Research, all of these things are pretty much all in the same line, the same way. When they talk about that, the teachers, when they feel that they're more supported, they tend to give even more. Involvement increases job satisfaction among the school staff, so you'll have less turnover rates. And the worst thing is when you have a teacher that, several teachers that come and go constantly. The student will never have a strong bond with a particular teacher if their teachers are always going and coming, going and coming. So if the teachers themselves are satisfied with their jobs, and the school staff in general is satisfied with their jobs, because you don't want to turn over admin either. Because turnover admin means basically your staff is going to constantly get different admin roles, different types of approaches to learning and things like that. So we want everybody, all of the staff members, to come together and be satisfied and happy with their jobs. Now, creating a supportive learning environment. How many of you who have children only hear from their child's teacher when something is wrong? Okay, this is not what we talk about when we're communicating. Okay, building trusting relationships with families early in the year lends itself to strong partnerships when the need for difficult conversation arises. So as teachers, you want to be able to communicate with the parents right away, welcome them, talk about, always send emails, being able to send emails and talking about how wonderful their child is. And even when you do have to bring up these difficult situations, make sure that you always start with something positive first. there's always something. I truly believe I was a teacher for 25 years. There's no such thing as a bad child or a child that cannot grow. So there's always a way to be able to tap into that child, and find something positive to say. And really, parents really just want to hear, no parent wants to constantly hear that of everything that their child is doing. They want to hear all the positives. So when you hear about all the positives and all of a sudden something negative pops up, then the parent is more likely to get on it and direct it right away. So that's one of the reasons why, yes, it might take a little bit more effort at first, but having that relationship with the parents, just checking in, if this child didn't do their homework or something like that, and they scored low on a test. I see that they're trying, they're doing really well. Is there anything I can do to help? So the parent automatically knows that you're involved and you're paying attention. And then at the same time, you're like, she's a pleasure to have in class, or she's a wonderful student. She's engaged all the time. But I did notice something was, she was not on task today. She didn't do pretty well on this quiz or this test. So is there anything that, that I can do to help? Is there anything that we can do to bring up that grade? Because I know that really affects her, or that she really wants to do well with this. So things like these are ways of communicating with the family, so they don't feel like they're just being bombarded. Oh, your child failed a test today. Oh, your child acted a good class today. Oh, your child, was horsing around in class and not paying attention. If a parent tends to constantly get that information from the teacher, they're not going to relate. It's going to change after that. And then, of course, your child is going to come to tell the parent that my teacher always, the teacher, right? Okay, so the child will come and say, my teacher hates me. They never give me a chance. They do this, they do that. And then the parent will, tends to side along the side of of the child. But at the same time, vice versa. Okay. Parents also need to have a level of respect when it comes to speaking with teachers. Yeah, these teachers are working hard. They're they have a lot of planning to put in place. There's a lot of stuff that goes into teaching. It's not just sitting in front of a bunch of students and teaching. There's prep work that needs to be done. And even in the prep work, there's, they have to pull from different things. They have to look and see what different strategies they can do to effectively teach all of the children. All children learn differently. You've got auditory learners, you've got visual learners, you've got kinesthetic learners. So there's all different types of learners. And the teacher is there really to figure out the key and how to get to the student. So there's a lot of prep work that goes into place, and Sister Samar will be able to explain all of that. Educators need to be sincere. Okay, educators need to be sincere with building those relationships. If it's coming from a sincere place, it's automatically received and felt. And then the same thing, the communication needs to be clear, but the parents, like I said, also need to be receptive. They need to recognize the hard work and the efforts of the teacher. If the teacher feels like they're appreciated, they're also going to go above and beyond. That might have been a little but I hope I hope that really pretty much summed up most of the things and that we were talking about and everything.
You did amazing job. I don't know if you left anything for me to say, but I mean, you
Okay,
did wonderful.
great. Okay, thank you so much, Sister Tara Zaafran. So, inshallah, now I'd like to introduce Dr. Sarah Summer. I'm sorry, Dr. Summer uh, Gam, Dr. Summer. I'll
Ghannoum.
just Ghammoon. Yeah, I met
Samar
Dr. Summer
Dalati
multiple
is
times
easier
before.
for you, maybe. Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
median name. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so Dr. Summer, she's an award-winning foreign language instructor and curriculum developer, currently based in California. She is a professor at the University of Redlands, and she teaches in 3 departments: international relations, history, and theology. She holds a BA in Arabic Language and Arts from Damascus University and an MA in Education with credentials in psychology. She's a pioneer in Arabic language education, and she has developed programs for Al Arbito Zedi program for Sunday schools, and she's also co-authored at LOUGHTI Leguti Al Islamia series. She's presented obviously at both the national and international conferences uh, for more than 2 decades. And she serves on the executive board of the National Arabic Teachers Association. And she also co-founded Youth United Purpose. And she's also a board member of WISER, Weekend Islamic School Educational Resources. And she also advises on the Society of Egyptian Americans. And she co-founded the Syrian American Ladies Aiding Mothers organization. So, and again, and so she's going to address us also for approximately 20 minutes. And yeah, so Sister Summer, if you can share the slides yourself, this will allow you to
Exactly.
move.
I'll give everybody a minute to breathe and stretch, and I'm going to share the
Stop
presentation.
sharing mine so you can go ahead and share yours.
Repeat that. I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
I said I stopped sharing mine so you can go ahead and share yours.
Okay, I will share mine.
Yeah. And for anyone, if you have any questions, please do drop them in the chat, because we definitely are allocating time for Q&A.
Everybody can see my screen, correct? Perfect.
It just needs to be put into presentation mode, Sister Summer.
Give me 1 second.
There we go.
I mean,
Yes.
from my end, it shows in the
Yes.
presentation.
It's showing now.
Is it in presentation mode?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, perfect. Okay. I don't know who took that picture, but I mean, having this picture or looking at this picture tells a lot about me. I love my community. I love people, and I'm very huggable person. I hug everybody, kids, parents, everybody around me. I don't hug men except my husband and my son, but I love my community. And to be engaged in myself as a immigrant, I suffered from a few things. One of the things I suffered is like walking in a mosque and feeling unwanted. Anybody experienced that? It's very hard for me to present not interactive. Usually I am very interactive and I love brainstorming. So if you need anything, please interpret with me in the chat so I can see you or feel like you're listening or you know, uh, uh, living the moment with me as much as we can. So I felt like as a parent, I'm dragging my kids to Sunday school. I did really grab them from their neck to be in Sunday school. Although I shared this story a lot. I used to send my kids to Islamic school, but I felt it's very, very important to take them to Sunday school, which is located in the mosque. And I'm sure everybody will think why this crazy lady will take her kids 6 days a week to get the same exact education. It's really not the same exact education. Yes, the amount of information is there, but we're talking about developing relationship with the community and the masjid itself. And that was the most important for me to have my kids in that environment. Although now my kids grew up and graduate, but I developed that kind of parenting relationship uh, with the masjid and the community, the masjid attendees, and the parents of the Sunday school. And the same way I felt when I walked in new to the community, like nobody greeted me, nobody say, who are you? Nobody says, what's your expertise? How can we help you? Or how can you help us? I felt this is not right. I didn't want to play the same role, so I wanted to make a difference. I will be more honest with you. I was rejected from some community, although I was like always walking shy. But some communities, like, they don't like the newcomers, and this is something we really need to work on it. And if we don't start from Sunday school or weekend schools, where can we start? So having that positive role model, turning the negative situation to positive situation, that was my goal. Did I face challenges? Is the road was pink full of flowers? Absolutely not. There was, I mean, there were flowers everywhere, but also a lot of thorns and obstacles. However, we through the years, we felt like we need to find a way to establish that communication with the parents. If we gain the parents, we gain the children. And if we gain the children, we gain the parents. And without the children and the parents, we will have no community. I am really disappointed to a lot of mosques where they have all those education classes for adults and all those details about Islam and educating, and it's always like the ABC of Islam. Yes, those classes are needed, those lectures are needed. But after all, I'm a grown up Muslim. I know my religion very well. I know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala very well. I know who's my prophet and the rest of the prophets. I know how to pray and how to make wudu. I do know all the stories in the Quran. I do know, and I read my Quran. I don't really need that much of education. Who who's thriving for education are those little fellows who come with like a clean page and refill this page with whatever we can to. So we decided to go an extra step. The culture in most Sunday schools are, and you are all aware of it, and if you like to write it in the chat, go ahead, make my day. The parents will drop the kids in the Sunday school, thinking that magic will happen in those 2.5 hours. And when they pick them up, they will be speaking Arabic, memorize the whole Quran, and they know everything about religion, and their job is done. And kafallahu muslimin sharra tutar, the mission accomplished. The reality is most of those kids are not getting enough, not because we don't have great teacher, we do have great teachers, and most of our teachers are well trained and we provide them with the best education. However, if the parents are not involved, the mission won't be accomplished. And we hear it a lot from the parents like, oh, I didn't know about it, or I didn't receive this, or I didn't do that. And so we decided to go and find take all the channels to send those parents messages. We want them to be engaged. And I'm advising everybody to use whatever you're comfortable with. For us, we went through, at the beginning, we went through a paper newsletter, then we added the website, then we added the emails, and then we added WhatsApp or whatever app you feel comfortable with, and a lot of meeting through the years. As you see, the lecture hall full of students and parents, and this is a picture of one of the event. Those are samples from what we do. We have the monthly newsletter. Adding to that, the communication through the app. So any parents has the freedom to communicate with the teacher and the administrator. In every level, you will see all the administrator are added and the teacher, the homeroom teacher of the level, as well as the coordinator or the principal. This is a sample of monthly newsletter where they see their what they get in the class or what they are taught in the class plus the homework. This is what we did recently, the meet the administrator and teacher day schedule, and we did the schedule. It was amazing success. However, we felt like overwhelmed. So next year we'll make it as a 2 days, 1 day to meet the administrator and go over the curriculum, where we went over the curriculum and the expectation in detail. And after that, the parents went up to the teacher classrooms and they had meeting with the teachers, and they learned about what their kids learning in the class and what is the teacher expecting from them. We created a lot of parent involvement program. However, we need to create more. So we created actually opportunity for the parents to be involved. And I want you to take a moment to think. If you drop your kids and at the school and the door of the administration and the principal are closed, and you offer your volunteering work, like, I can help you if you'll allow me, and you never got phone call, what kind of message you're receiving? Receiving you're not needed. However, a lot of schools, and we take that as a model, they have that opportunity. They created that relationship between the school and the parents by creating volunteering opportunity. Have the parents to help around the classroom. We created workshops to support the learning inside. A lot of parents, they come to me and say, well, I don't speak Arabic, I don't know how to help my son with the homework. And my reply always like, I don't need your help with the homework, I just want you to make sure he will sit down and do the homework, and you guys can come with much more than what I listed. The place and the room won't allow me to go further. One of the successful thing we did in our school, and I advise everybody to do it, engaging the school alumni and engaging also the use the parents' expertise. We have very rich community with a lot of professional backgrounds. And if you look at the picture here, I don't know if you see this person in a blue. This is a Dr. Shendi, who is, oh gosh, I forgot the term. He's a stomach doctor. What do we call that? Oh, it's going to come to my mind. Anyway, Dr. Shindi, he's a product of Sunday school. He's in his 50s right now, but however, he came back and explained to the kids, what does the oral and the digestive system do? We take that bite and it disappears. Where does it go? It goes in the stomach. Does it go straight to the stomach? And when it goes to the stomach, what happened? And from there, where it goes, and what does the body, and what will happen if we eat and if we don't eat, and what's the right nutrition? I mean, was amazing, friendly workshop where the student and the parents got so excited. But for the student to see Dr. Shindi talking about, I mean, this is a bigger picture. talking about his expertise and talking about his time in Sunday school and how he graduated from weekend school, and he's a doctor and professional right now, and he's contributing back to the community. That was amazing. In the other picture here, we see Dr. Jamil, who is a researcher and very respectful doctor, teach at USC, which is very prestigious school, doing some experimental thing and turning stuff from solid to gas and gas to liquid. And I mean, he was doing very exciting thing, and the kids were like, ooh, ah, all the time. That was very lovely. And it's also, if you see in the back, a lot of parents are sitting and watching. Another thing to consider about the parents, involving the parents, is the culture sensitivity. And this is something also very sad, but also our community too has to work on it. It's against the principle of Islam. It's against لا فرق بين عربي وأعجمي, لا فرق بين أبيض وأسود, in the eyes of Islam, where in the mosque, that's not really what happened. We see the Pakistani mosque and the Masri mosque and the Suri mosque, and also I went to a Chinese mosque, and that's not the way it should be. It should be diverse. So in our Sunday school, we encourage addressing culture and having that diversity in I mean, we are in the heart of Los Angeles, downtown Los Angeles, where we get the privilege to have a lot of diverse, a lot of mixed culture. So we do have Culture Day, we have Who's Day, we encourage in the Eid, we encourage the student to come with their traditional clothes. We have mosque, we have them to build mosque from around the world. We talk about Eid celebration about the world. That was really lovely presentation the teacher did, how to celebrate Eid around the world, how Eid celebrated in China or Pakistan or Mali or Nigeria, Egypt, etc. It's not only the Syrian way, ma'mul and coffee or kahk in Egypt, or sacrificing that lamb in Pakistan. I mean, whatever. I mean, there is much more. It's educational plus teaching the Islamic values at the same time, but it's involving parents. Parents get so excited to dress up in their traditional clothes and come to the masjid where their kids dressed in traditional clothes. I mean, it just amazing. We celebrate multicultural cultural holiday. We celebrate Prophet Muhammad's birthday, and also we encourage students to come in with their own tradition and culture clothes. Not only that, I go personally and I encourage all the administrator and the teacher to praise the kids for what they are wearing. I love your outfit. I love your sharwal and qamis. I love your galabiya. I mean, it just like, thank you for sharing that. Can you tell me a little bit about it? It just having that respect to the culture and making the parents feeling like, yeah, I can come with my sharwal and qamis to the masjid. I can come with my red dress to the masjid if I'm Chinese or whatever the culture is. And honestly, we learned a lot from that culture just by asking all kind of questions. How much time I have? I'm trying to shorten as much as I can.
Yeah, 6
Parent
more minutes,
teacher,
sister.
6 more minutes. Okay, that's plenty of time. Parent and teacher partnership. That's really, really, really important. I remember the story I told it more than one time. The school dismissed. I'm walking through the cafeteria. And one of our teachers shouted across the cafeteria to one of the parents, "Your child didn't memorize Surah Al-Ikhlas today." I felt my heart dropping on the floor. I turned around and seemed like my face showed how do I feel, and I had to have long talk with that teacher. It's really, what's the point from doing that act? What's the point of telling the parent across the room, your son didn't memorize Surah Al-Ikhlas? We had a long talk. I know memorizing Surah Al-Ikhlas is very, very important, and probably it's very important for that teacher, and I'm not underestimating the memorization. However, whatever coming, it should be, first of all, privately. Second, we focus on the positive, like, I'm glad your son memorized the first part of Surah Al-Ikhlas. However, I still need him to work on whatever. It's just starting with positive, avoiding the negative. It's weekend school, for God's sake, and we're manufacturing leaders for the future. We have to focus on the positive. So having that positive relationship with the teacher and being a partners with raising that child. I love that sentence. Sarah repeat over and over. It take a village to raise a child. Indeed, it take the whole Islamic community to raise a child. Now, I want to make those parents feeling comfortable and welcome, and I want them to be involved as much as I can, not because I want the parents to be only there, which is by itself is a great building community exercise, but I need their help too. I want my job as a Sunday school principal, administrator, teacher to be easy. So we gave the parents a lot of assignments. First of all, we formed the PTO, which is from the parents. And we're very lucky. For the last few years, our PTO did amazing job. I'm talking about PTO creating activity every single Sunday. So when the kids comes down to go to a break time, which is our break time is 45 minutes, they will find not only the pizza and the treat, whatever, and we don't give the pizza for free. We give it for the minimum, which $1, because we want our kids to feel not everything in life for free, and they have to appreciate what they have. But we sell it for very little money, and we do give other treats. But they will find the PTO prepared different kind of activity, either making collage or coloring or depends on the event or what's going on, cutting and pasting. You name it. And our PTO very creative. We do have classroom parties, and we invite the parents. One of the parties I did myself is the Mother's Day tea, and I did the Earth Day celebration, and I invited the parents to learn about gardening and flowers. Also, field trip. Our field trip last year was blast. We went to a strawberry farm where the parents joined us with picking strawberries and going to pet zoo. And by the end of the field trip, we were asking the student if they had fun. The people who shouted were the parents, and the parents and the teacher were having blast. But also we received a lot of help from the parents, and you see everybody sitting, having the snack and the lunch ready, and having good time and good conversation. It was amazing. The whole trip was planned by parents. We did not, as a teacher, it took that pressure from the teacher's shoulder. We do have parent and teacher appreciation day, and you can guys come with whatever you can think of. We have the parent education workshops where we always talk about what we're doing, and the more we explain, the calmer the parents come. The more you explain and engage, the calmer. I mean, we had years where the parents demanded, like, we don't want Arabic. No, we don't want, we only want the Quran. We don't want Islamic study. I want my child to be in Islamic study only. No, I want my child to study Quran. We eliminated all this talk by explaining to the parents what we're doing and why we're doing that. I'm not teaching Arabic because I speak Arabic or I came from Arabic descent. I teach Arabic because I'm enhancing the comprehension of the Quran. And there is like argument between Quranic Arabic and the Arabic. Yes, there is something Quranic Arabic, which is, with a lot of respect, I don't believe in that. I believe Arabic is Arabic and it's gonna help you to comprehend the Quran no matter what. However, we're focusing on vocabulary. We're teaching the communicative approach of teaching the foreign language, but we also teach, we focus on the vocabulary who are most frequent used in the Quran. I'm a big fan of surveys. Why surveys? I mean, I wish I can hear you, because it's respecting the parents' opinion. And it's really identifying their concern and making sure their voices heard. And when that argument come, like, we want Arabic more, the survey will say, no, look at the graphic. 70% of the parents wanted Arabic. 70% of the parents voted for the Quran class. 80% of the parents voted for the Islamic study. Yes, 80% voted for long recess. I'm not minimizing the 20%. However, we are used to Shura, and that's what we do in our school. We're trying to accommodate everybody's need, and we're trying to hold the stick from the middle. So help us to do that. We created survey for everything you can imagine. And the most recent survey is this one. We make it very, very simple. It's just like yes and no question. How did you rate the overall event, which is the parent teacher day? What would you be? I mean, let's see what else. What other kind of question? What was the best time? Was the time of the meeting proper? Did you find the event informative, etc.? I mean, can you see the survey, or are we stuck on my screen? Because I
We were
clicked
able
on
to
the
see the
survey.
survey. We were
Okay,
able to see the survey.
great.
Dr. Samar, yes.
We do parent-teacher conferences overall. I mean, we did meet your administrator and parent day, and we are planning to follow with another day where we give them progress report or conference day. That's toward the middle of the year. We try to make it as fun with the help of the Islamic Center, the one the weekend school fall in. As much as we can, we make family engagement event. And our social coordinator, with consulting us and with the help of us, we work all as one family. She does all kind of activity after the school is over. Like, we have sweet day, sport day, sweet treat day. We have the family circle. That's during the Sunday school. And this picture is very recent. This week, I led the family day and we were talking about bullying versus sarcasm. I mean, we choose subject related and we use our also parents to lead the circle, one person every week. I mean, you name the fun activity we do, bowling in the local. We took a trip to the local park. I mean, as much as we can, we make it colorful. It just brings the fun, make every moment joyful learning moment. I mean, anything we do, we will be talking about God and His creation or whatever. One of the most joyful moment for me and the parents, and I use a lot of the humor in that moment, is the assembly. One of our teachers that lead the assembly every day, and I do the announcement, but I do also teach few words of Arabic, like how would you say sabahul khair, how would you say ma salama, and I ask the student to turn around and say shukran to their parents for bringing them on time. Here the student who arrive like a couple of minutes earlier, they have the chance to pick a treat. And this time, I mean, I found bunch of little uh, figures in a clearance on a store, so I got the whole thing, and it was such a joy to see every child holding little thing in their hand. We give different treats every week, whatever the treat is, whatever that little something, but it's encouragement for the student and the parents who feel appreciated because they brought their kids on time instead complaining and say, oh, you're late or coming. I mean, this picture, I love it. I mean, look at the joy. I don't know if, oh, I couldn't enlarge it. I was planning to enlarge that picture to show how much fun was in that meeting between the teacher and the parents. Everybody was laughing and having good time. Thank you for being great audience. I hope I didn't bore you. I try to be as brief as I can, and I'm ready for any question.
Okay, great. Jazakallah khair, Sister Summer and Sister Tara. So we have some comments, questions, as well as comments in the chat, and I'd like to just put them all on the table to maximize the time because I want to be respectful of even the participants. So let's try to time box it to make sure that we close at 8:15 Central Time. Okay. So
I've been reading a lot of the questions as we're going along, so I can start and then if
sure.
that's okay, and then Samar can.
Yeah, if you can start, Sister Tara. Yes.
So okay, and then that'll give her time to go back and look at some of the questions. So mashallah, I think that everything that someone said, I think was amazing. And that we've done a little bit in our Sunday school as well. Well, one of the questions that came up is how to get parents involved, especially when they're very busy. One of the things that we did also in our school is you do like you know how you have a student of the month, but you don't want to do it based on that. You just want to pick a family and highlight that. So they would come and then you would just like highlight their careers or something like that. And so they get to come and talk about their culture. They get to talk about like what schools they go to, things like that. So it encourages them to come. The other thing is have a social at the very beginning, like the first day of school. You would have an opening coffee and stuff with the administration. I definitely agree with the idea of surveys, asking the parents what they would like to see. What is something that they would love to see in with the school or anything, and ask them how they would like to help. That way, once you get those surveys, you can actually start allocating now. Okay, well, this one wants to do, what's the typical activities? Or this one wants to do activities. This one wants to be, this one likes to, do classroom activities, and so forth. The other thing you could do is have a fun competition between these, between a lot of these, between these families and between the students or the class. So basically, parents that come in, and that they would, um, each class would be like, okay, how, like the Ramadan decorating dorm, for example, or the Ramadan decorating classroom. And then the person with the, and then all the other classes and the teachers vote on who had the most decorated classroom, but you have to have parent involvement in it. Then you're going to have the child coming to to the parents saying, please come help us. We need help. We want to win the competition. And you make it very friendly or very fair. The diversity is extremely important. We have to remember most of our families are not Arab speaking. We have a lot of, unless you're in a predominantly Arab community. But a lot of these families, especially if you're in a big city like Houston or Los Angeles or any other thing like that, you're going to have, like we, for example, we have Afghans now. We have Afghans, Pakistani, Indian, people from Myanmar. We have people from Burma. We have so many different cultures. Nigeria is another one. We have so many different cultures that it's almost insulting to the families if they're treated like they're second class citizens because they don't speak Arabic or that they're not familiar with Arab culture. Because again, just like Samar said, this is not our deen. This is not our deen. And so encouraging them to bring, like have an international festival day where everybody brings in either clothing, dishes, or like food from their cultures, things like that, where they can do like a bazaar, where they can do also their, if clothing, artwork, pottery, paintings, anything like that, so they can showcase their things. All of these things will bring in the parents because they want to be able to, they'll feel loved and appreciated, and things like that. One of the things that Summer said also, um, that really got to me was the teacher that yelled across the hallway and said that about the child. With teachers, we have to also understand that we don't know what's going on in the child's life at home. We don't know if the parents are working too much, if they don't have time to support them. I mean, we can't put that all on the child. And so that is that is a very, very sensitive issue. And I'm going to tell you from now that if you do that to a child, they're never going to want to learn in the class. They're going to be too embarrassed to ever speak up again. So it's really important to create that positive attitude.
Yeah.
To create that positive attitude. So there's different ways, like I said, of trying to get parents involved. Usually parents like to gather around social stuff. Also the trades, like someone had mentioned in there as well. It was a gastroenterologist who was with the doctor. You can have them come in, talk about that, and then you could even incorporate, infuse the Islamic components to that and have Arabic words, have the students come up with Arabic words for some of the things that the parent was doing. In different trades, like for example, if you have businessmen or people who own businesses, you can come and tell them, they can come and talk about like a career day. They can talk about halal businessing and things like that. So there are many different ways of engaging parents to where they would come in, and everybody likes to be showcased. So that's one of the ways that we bring in our families.
That's very true. And I will add to that. I mean, all what Tara said is amazing. But you guys not need to remember, put yourself in the parents' shoes. What's the secret to bring a child to Sunday school? Is it the good teacher? Is it the good education? Is it the friendly atmosphere? What is it? None of this will bring child to Sunday school. The minute the child make friend in the Sunday school, that child wants to come every Sunday. Same story for the parents. The minute the parents feel comfortable and they feel like they are heard, they want to come back. I showed you a picture of the parent circle. This is a fraction from our parents, but where are the rest? Believe it or not, a lot of them in the cafeteria, and a lot of them, they went together to a coffee shop. And that's hurt my feeling? Absolutely not. I had good amount. And they were wondering, how come? I mean, they invite each other, come, it's fun, it's learning experience. Especially we make it some kind of discussion where they can open and share their experience. It's not a lecture kind of thing. We do have our lectures and we advertise for it, and different crowd will come to the lecture. But with the sharing circle, we all share problems. We all have teenager to deal with. We all have difficult child. We all have a child doesn't want to eat his dinner. We all have child doesn't want to go to Sunday school. We all have child low self-esteem at the school. I mean, or bullied or whatever. Addressing the parents' need is as important as addressing that little one's need. We provide quality education, yes. Respect the parents, yes, 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 yes. So many yes under that. Respect fair feeling and find what's their need. Islamic Center so far fail to comfort the community. If I have problem, I should go back to my community. Usually the case, if I have problem, I'm afraid to go back to my community. I want to hide my problem and swallow it. That shouldn't be the case. It should be the community working toward solving those problems. The more the community together, the more or less problem we'll have. That's one thing. The other thing is have that personal touch. Give a compliment, give a hug. I mean, not to everybody, be careful, but I mean, just give a compliment. I mean, we do breakfast very nice breakfast every Sunday. It's very well done, put elegantly. And when we put it elegantly, not to scare the parents, to show them we respect them, we do invite them to occasions and we prepare for it very, very carefully. Not because we want to look professional, but because we want to show them, yes, we do respect them. And their present is very important. And doesn't matter, in the family circle, we have this amazing professional person and somebody with limited English like me and someone with very minimum English, and everybody welcome and everybody addressed. And we make sure they introduce themselves and they share their expertise with us. Did that answer some? I mean, for the small community, the more, I mean, doesn't matter. We started small, especially after the COVID. I mean, we hardly had like 20 to 30 students after the COVID coming back. We had to expand by reaching out, create all kind of whatever you think of. I mean, we left some ideas, but come back with
So,
more ideas.
Sister Summer, is it possible for you to drop the link of your survey into the chat, just so people
Yeah,
can see the
Definitely, I
questions?
can.
I
I
just
can.
that, and I also want to add to the part about the survey. In the surveys, ask your parents what they would like to do. How would they like to help? That way you at least have
I
an
will
idea
add
of,
that to my survey,
where to,
Tara.
like, if you want somebody for fun. Then start asking them what they, and then what they like the most about the school and what they would like to see changed. Those are the two most informative pieces of information you'll get from the parents, mainly because, again, it's the idea of having them being heard. So then if it's something that you see across the board, that is something that they don't like, then you can address it right away. And if it's something that every parent wants to see added, you can do that. And then so again, they'll feel heard. But also if you want the volunteers, asking them, like, in the question, you basically ask them, the student success is our number one priority. And that really takes everybody's effort. What would you like to volunteer with if you had the opportunity?
Okay, great. Yeah, those are great. And so we're down to 4 minutes, and I want to be respectful of everyone's time, and most importantly, be respectful also of the audience. Would anyone in the audience like to ask a question verbally? If you do, feel free to unmute your mic and address the panelists if you would like to ask it verbally. because it's a good audience. And okay, if not, okay, so is there a list of student projects uh, that have been suitable for parent participation? That's a really good one. What student
I
project
said
that have been suitable?
one of them was
Yes.
the like I said, the Ramadan decorating classroom. You know, things like that, or you could just do, you know, even when the Maghrib, you just do different calligraphy projects in the class and have them decorate the class. These are all like encouraging projects to, you know, where parents can be involved.
I mean,
Great.
even any other project is, it doesn't have to be a religion. We, one of the project I involve the parents with is the Earth Day. At the beginning of the year, we invite the Earth to join our class as a classmate, which is image of the Earth and with very sad face, and we talk about our responsibilities as a Muslim, what can we do to make the earth happy? And this is like ongoing project from the beginning of the year all the way to the end of the year until the Earth Day, which is usually by the end of April. But that's involving everybody, planting, having garden, recycling, coming with ideas, parents coming and giving like 5-10 minute presentation, and we do a group project where we put on the wall all kind of ideas. How can we help the earth to be happy? And by the Earth Day, of course, the Earth is smiling, so we changed the face to a happy face on the Earth. But this is like one of the projects get everybody involved. Also, mosque from around the world talk about your culture day. Come and present something from Bangladesh. We have big Bengali community, or India, or now we have few Chinese students, which is very, very happy. In the last circle day, this parent circle, I was interviewing the parents, like, uh, I was shocked to know few of our parents drive like 2 hours to get to our school. And I was like, why is that? You have local Sunday school around. One of the parents shared, like, yes, I took my daughter and I went in the last 2 years from one school to another. We decided to drive those 2 hours in the morning to bring our daughter here again. That put a lot of responsibility on us, but also as a respect to that parents who drive 2 hours with his wife coming to the Islamic Center and driving a couple of hours back. That's a lot of time on Sunday to put with his family, and a lot of responsibility for us. So he is like sunshine every like how the sun rise every Sunday there. We had to use that parents for different aspect and different things. The more you involve the parents, the more you ask them, what it takes a smile and open conversation. That's it.
Great.
It works like a magic.
Last thing I wanted to
All
say,
right.
because this is something that's really uh, really done now in a lot of schools, is the Day of Justice. But not just focusing on the Palestinian strife and the struggle. Obviously, we have, uh, you know, talking about justice in Sudan, Congo, um, uh, Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, Kashmir, Palestine, Lebanon. I mean, there's like, you know, Uyghurs. There's so many different cultures, and they just have them, you know, just do something about justice or something that they could have, like, maybe the 99 names of Allah, which one is just, which ones aren't, and have them do artwork, things like that too, is one of the things that a lot of the schools are doing there.
Okay.
And
All right.
I
Great,
mean,
John.
yeah,
Okay.
go ahead,
Yeah. Yeah.
brother.
But I want to be respectful of everyone's time because so it's 8:16 and I wanted to end at 8:15. So
Okay.
unless there's something pressing, yeah, yeah, because we also have to respect the audience, and inshallah. That's my
Definitely.
stickler, time management.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was an honor to host two power hitters, to at least moderate. I tried to put the comments in. I figured those were very good nuggets, and so inshallah we appreciate everyone who attended, and and Sister Summer even shared her personal cell phone number, so you can see how passionate she is about this.
I am
I
very
put the link
passionate.
in. Yeah, I put the link in for the contact us, and inshallah, if you can also on the contact link for WISER, just advise us on what other webinars you would like to see us cover, because our intentionality is to be able to do these with regularity. Okay, so and hopefully this was beneficial, and we intend to build on this. Okay, so unless there's anything else, inshallah, we'll let everyone get back to their families on and because I know some of you are in different time zones, you still have to cook dinner, so we'll be respectful of everybody. So it was an honor, and inshallah, looking forward to seeing you again next WISER webinar. And thank you very much for your questions and your comments. Yes.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having us and being patient audience. That's amazing.
And I did put in the chat, the recording will be available on the WISER website within 1 week, inshallah. Okay, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa
rahmatullah. Thank you, Samar.
Thank you, Tara. That was amazing. I mean, your ideas are great as usual, and was very lovely working.
We're definitely on the same page as far as the parent involvement. It makes a huge difference, and it has to be all the way around. And it's this level of respect between both parents and teachers. It's extremely
right, and make it a lot of fun. I mean, I'm having fun. It's tiring. It's a lot of planning, a lot of work, but I'm having fun, making friends. I mean, encouraging people, educating children. What could be fun more than this? Just
definitely. And like you said, when they have friends, the same thing with parents. When the parents start making friends with everybody, they start coming more often. So like in the very beginning, you make it very social for them, like a coffee meet and greet where they can talk and discuss all these things. And then tapping into the things that they would like to do, as opposed to we need volunteers for
very true.
The luncheon. We need volunteers for this. Or somebody can say, I'd like to volunteer doing this.
That's true. Very true. Two things bring people together: friendship and food. I have very intellectual friends.
Yeah. So, Brother Sadman, if you can stop the recording.
Yeah, please. Especially when we talk about personal stories.